Again, page 201. I'm sure we can get done with this in a half hour, hopefully. One of the biggest challenges I had is giving permission for it to load the web page in. Um, Again, make sure it's an S in the web address. So again, on page 201, understanding the navigational control. Navigation-based application present a hierarchy approach to displaying information to the user. Such applications typically take the form of a navigational bar or UI navigational bar and a series of table-based views. The UI table view is what we were using. Select an item from the table list causes the view associated with that selection to be displayed. The navigational bar will display the title corresponding to the current display view together with a button that returns the user. So again, the name that you put in there will be displayed on the next one. So keep that in mind. Remember our names, whatever the name was that was here. Camping, remember I put camping in there? That'll be the name at the top up here. That's a problem because if you use something that's kind of long, it doesn't kind of fit and it puts ... afterwards. I've seen that. I don't know how to fix that, but I'm sure there's a way. Most of the applications on the iPhone are kind of this way. If you look on the middle there, for example, of this concept in action, spend some time looking at the iPhone Mail app or the Music app, right? That's what they talk about there. When developing a navigation-based application, a central component of the architecture is the navigational controller. In addition to each scene has a view and a corresponding view controller. The navigational controller maintains the stack of these view controllers. When a new view is displayed, it pushes onto the navigational controller stack and becomes the current active controller. That's why I put a little arrow on the board, right? It's kind of like a stack of cards. The navigation controller automatically displays the navigational bar and the back button. When the user selects the button in the navigational bar to move back to the previous level, the current view controller is popped off the stack and the view controller beneath it is moved to the top, becoming the current active controller. The view controller for the first table view that appears when the application is started is called the root view controller. The root view controller cannot be popped off the navigational controller stack. So I guess what it's saying to you is that it's always top dog, whatever, the one that's there with the little, that one never goes away. You can cover it, but you can't get rid of it. Adding the new scene. So here you go. This is what you need to do. I've already done this, but I'll go through it. So we're going to add a new scene to the storyboard. For this purpose of the example, we'll be adding a new view controller to our storyboard to act as the second scene. With this in mind, begin by loading the table view studio project. We already have the project loaded. Once the project is loaded, we'll need to add a new UI controller subclass. So I've already done that. It's right here. It's this one right here. It's this one right here. To add this, if you don't have it already, I have it already. If you don't have it, go over here and type in view controller. So go over here, so our storyboard, this is my begin by loading the story. Once the project is loaded, you new view controller they're adding a new file. A new Cocoa Touch. Let's do that first. Once the project is loaded, you will need to add a new UI view controller subclass to our project file. So select the file, new file, and choose the Cocoa Touch option from the iOS source category. And so on. So did I do that already? Let's see. What did they say to call it? I think it's this one right here. Yeah, I've already added it. I think. Let's see. This one. Attraction detail, maybe. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, hold on. Let me look. Yeah, I've already added it. So here's how to make it if you don't have it. You go underneath File, New, File. So if you don't have it already, do this. File, new file, and you're going to go to Cocoa Touch. See it right here, Cocoa Touch. And then hit Next. And then on the options screen, make sure the subclass of menu is set to UI View Controller. So right here in the pull-down menu, you want to make sure it says, you might have to scroll a little bit. I think it's UI View Controller. It's this one. See? UI View. So you might have to scroll a little bit. There is a scroll bar. You can see. Look at all these. Look at all that. There's a lot in there. So you're doing a UI View Controller. And subclass name the new class attraction detail view controller, and make sure that it also has the XIB file option is switched off. So make sure this is switched off, and then hit next, and then give it a name, or it goes inside here, and hit create. I've already done it. I'm not going to hit create, but this is what you do. That's what you're supposed to do. And I've already created it. So I hit cancel, and it's this one right here. Oops. Oh, I have to hit cancel. And it's this one right here. Attraction Detail View Controller. Everybody got that? So I already did that for you. If you have not done that, just follow the directions right there. Make sure you name it Attraction Detail View Controller. And then let's turn the page. I'm on page 202. Next step is select the main storyboard file from the project navigator so the storyboard canvas is visible from the object library. Now's where we add the actual view controller, which is this one right here, which I've already added. If you haven't added that, again, you go down here to the bottom right corner here where it says, and look for view controller. If you don't see it in your list, you can type in view, right? View controller. It should pop up your view controller. Once you have your view controller in there, you can actually drag it from here out on the screen, kind of put it to the right. I already did that. If you're using mine, you already have that. If not, make one. Drag and drop to the right of the existing table view controller. With a new view controller added, select it and display the identity inspector and change the class settings to the UI view controller to attraction view controller. So what they're saying here is once you drag this out and you have it, see it blue right there? See how it's blue? If you go up here to the very top menu up here, see the little square one right here? It says show the identity inspector. It's the square one up here. If you go up there, make sure you choose the new thing that we just made. We just made the new thing called Attraction Detail View Controller, right? You need to put that in there. So I've already done that. If you haven't done that, just go and do that right there. Do you see it? That's how you do it. Again, the new thing you just added to the right, make sure it's blue. Go up here to where it says class, click on this pull down menu, and make sure it says Attraction Detail View Controller. Again, in the square one right there. Do you see that? So if you're doing it, do that. That's at the top of page 202. The detail scene is now added and assigned a new created subclass where the code can be added. So again, what was that doing? It's adding the programming that we just made. Remember the Cocoa Touch one? The Cocoa Touch programming is adding that programming here to this screen that we can now go and add all the detail to load the web content. Okay. Now, older versions of the program used to have a web. When you load the web, you would actually have a web controller here, and you drag it out. But the new version, they're deprecating that. So I don't know if this handout does it or not. Let me see. Let's continue on page 202. Once the application is completed, select a row from the table view will trigger a segue to display the detail view controller. The detail view controller, the detail view will contain a button which, when selected by the user, will navigate back to the table view. This function will be made possible by adding the navigational controller to the storyboard. We can be added by selecting the attraction table view controller item in the storyboard so that it's highlighted in blue, and then select the Xcode edit embed navigation controller. Now I've already done that, so let me show you how to do it. Again, we're going to go back to this table view right here. Click in the top up here, and you'll notice it turns blue, right? So you need to add, just like we did in the week Apple was here, we added this navigational controller right here. So to do that, you go underneath editor, embed in navigational controller. So again, make that blue first. Make it blue first. If you don't have it, I already did this. But if you don't have that, this is how you do it. Make it blue, editor, embed in, and say navigational controller. This will pop up, and then you need to make sure that this is the first thing that starts. You need to make sure that this is the first thing that starts. So once this is added, I believe you also need to go and make sure it's the first thing by going underneath the pull down menu and say is initial view controller. So make sure that is checked too. I don't know if it says that in the handout there, but that was one of the things is that once you put this should pop in there. You might need to move it because sometimes it goes like this. Did it go like that to you? Okay, you need to move it across. You can move it across like that. And then once you have it selected, make sure it's the first thing that loads. How you do that is, again, is initial view controller. Remember this little one right here that points down? Is initial view controller. Click that box, and that'll make it first. You guys have that? Okay, let's move on. We're on page 203. We're almost done. Almost done. When the user selects a row within the table view, the segue needs to be triggered to display the attraction detail view controller. In order to establish the segue, control-click on the prototype cell located in the attraction table view cell. Now, I haven't done any of this yet, so this is where I'm going to start. Okay, I haven't done these things, so I'm, as far as if you've downloaded mine, this is where you start building things. Okay, so a segue needs to be triggered to display the attraction detail view controller. In order to establish this segue, control-click on the prototype cell located in the attraction table view controller scene and drag the resulting line to the attraction detail view controller scene. Upon releasing the line, select Show option from the residing menu. So again, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to connect this cell right here. See this cell right here? So click on the cell right here. And let me move this over a little bit. And just like we were before, you hold down the control key and you click like that. I'm holding the control key and I'm clicking like this. I'm holding the control key and I'm dragging to the attraction detail view controller. I'm releasing my mouse and you want to do show right there. And notice it automatically puts the back button. Look at that. Hey, boy, it makes our life easier. It's doing all the programming for us. Imagine that. The storyboard will update to display a segue connection between the table view cell and the view controller. In the code that will be implemented later, in this chapter, it will be necessary to reference the specific segue. In order to do this, it must therefore be given an identifier. Click on the segue connection between attraction table view controller and attraction detail view controller. Display the attributes inspector and change the identifier to show attraction detail. So what are they talking about? Well, let's move this over a little bit. See if we move that over. I'm going to move it over a little bit, and what they want is for you to actually click on this line. See the line right here? See this little line? When you click on it, it turns blue. Do you see that? When you click on that blue line right there, you're going to come over here to where it says identifier over here. And if you don't see identifier, you click on the little thing that goes down, this attributes inspector right there. So again, in the attributes, see where it says view, show, attributes inspector, change the identifier to show attraction detail. So identifier is going to be, I think we need to type this in, show attraction detail. Details or detail? Details with an S. You know me in spelling. Yes. Okay, again, here's how I did it. Right here, you click on the blue line that's between this one and this one. You got a little blue line right there. Click on that. Go to this pull-down menu and type in Show Attraction Details inside there. And then make sure, try and hit Return. That's another problem is if you don't hit Return or something, sometimes it doesn't take it. And you click off, and it doesn't know that you did it. So sometimes when you're done doing these things, hit Return on the keyboard to like reinforce it. In addition, a toolbar should have appeared in both scenes. A toolbar? Did that happen in both scenes? I didn't see it.
Oh, we have a toolbar that's
no. Let me see.
the menu bar, the navigation item.
In addition, a toolbar should have appeared in both scenes. Double-click on the center of Attraction Table View Controller toolbar and change it to Attractions. I didn't see a toolbar. Maybe I need to click off. Click on the top. Here? Oh, up here? Oh, title is here. Okay, that's what they're talking about. Okay. And what are we typing in? Attractions? Attractions. So again, it was here. Thank you. And type here. ATTRACTIONS. Attractions. And hit return. There we go. Attractions. Next, drag a navigational item view from the object library and drop it into the toolbar of the attraction detail view controller. Double click on the title and change it to attraction detail. So again, you need to put in a navigational item view from the object library. So down here, we're going to type in, what is it? Navigational. Navigational. GA, navigational item view. This just says item, there's no view. I guess it's probably this one, right? Represent a state of the navigational bar, including a title. Okay, so I'm assuming it's this one, and we're going to drag it to the top. This is kind of similar to what we did. I know there's one for a title, provides a mechanism for displaying navigational bar just below the I don't know. This is probably an old, this is one version older. So just keep that in mind. The handout we're looking at is one version older than the version that we have on the computer. So I think we did this in the other one, 3.6 lesson. So again, you drag it up here, right? See that? I dragged it up here, and then we're going to call that attraction detail, right? A-T-T-R-A-C-T-I-O-N, attraction. Ooh, gotta put an A in there. A-T-T-R-A-C-T-I-O-N, attraction detail, like that. Attraction detail. Again, it was from type navigation down here, drag this into the bar up here, into the bar up there, and then change the title right there. Everybody got that?
The book
Mm-hmm.
has an S on the end of detail.
Oh, details. There you go. Thank you. I know, I'm always missing one little letter, aren't I? Building and running an application, and note that selecting a row in the table view now displays the second view controller in turn as the button in the toolbar to return an attraction. So they ask you to test it. So let's save and test. Let's see if it works. How about that? Let's test. Let's test. Here we go. Cross your fingers. And any one of these should go there and go back. Go there, go back, go there, go back, go there, go back. But of course, in our app that we make, we're going to have 4 different ones, right? We need to figure that out, but we're getting close. So it should go back and forth now. Oh. Okay. Let's continue. So last step is to actually put the map in this option right here. The last step on page, I'm going to start on page 203, the bottom here. The last step is to put not the map, I'm saying you got to put the park or the web page in here. Got to put the web page in there. For this purpose of the example, the attraction detail view is going to display a web view loaded within the web page relating to the specific tourist attraction. In order to achieve this, the class is going to need a UI web view object, which will later be added to the view. In addition to the web view, the class is also going to need an internal data mode that contains the URL of the web page to be displayed. It would be the job of the table view controller to update this variable prior to the segue occurring so that it reflects the selected attraction. What they're trying to say is it depends on which button you click on will depend on the web page. Because if you looked at the tutorial, they're doing basic London attractions, right? Big Ben and all that stuff, which is different pages. So, you know, you need to tell it before you get here. So remember, it's before the segue. So for the sake of simplicity, the data model will be the form of a string object. Select the attraction data view controller Swift file and modify it as the following. Declared the variable import UI kit. The other thing I think we need to do, and I'm going to say this now because I don't know if this is in this handout, but if you remember from the very beginning up here, when we're doing our table view up here, if you click on the very top part right here, which is the project file right here. See the project file right here, the very top one where it says table view story, right here at the very top. What I really think we need to do to this, and I'm just assuming, is under the capabilities, I think we need to turn the, isn't there a web one in here? Is there a web associated domains maybe? Oh, there's a map one. So those of you who are trying the map, if you got to do this for the map, I know this for sure. Again, you click up here at the very top one. And I know if you're trying to do the map one and it's not working for you, remember I gave you a map handout, you need to turn this on for the map. I know that for sure. For the web, I'm not really sure. Last time I did this, this was not in the older version. This thing that you're looking at right here, see where it says capabilities, was not in the older Xcode, is what I'm trying to say. So I'm thinking that it's, there might be one in here for web. And I don't see one. Do you see one anywhere? There's HealthKit, HomeKit, app groups, associated domains maybe. I don't know. Let's see what the twirl down menu allows an app to be associated with a specific domain for specific services such as accessing Safari saved passwords. No. Okay, maybe we don't need to do that. I did have problems connecting, especially if it wasn't a secure one. Okay, so let's not worry about that. Let's move on. Okay, so in this case, let's go to the view controller. Again, we're going to go over here to the... You can actually bring up both of them right here, right? Remember doing the Olympic symbol right here? Bring up the Olympic symbol, and we want the one that says... which one are we asking? Attraction Detail View Controller? Is that the one? Is that the right one we got? Yeah, I think that is the right one. Attraction detail. If you don't have the right one over here, remember you can come up here and try and find it by going under. See how it says automatic, but we would go manual. Remember we had to do this last class and pull in one. If it's not showing you the right one, you can manually get the one that you need right here, right? Okay, so in this case, we need to add a class. So class attraction view controller. Controller in here. You need a variable inside here. So again, the variables kind of go at the top right there. We're going to put in variable website, and we're going to call a string web string site, S-I-T-E. Let's spell things correct. Colon, and then string, S-T-R-I-N-G. Make sure your capital S for string, and then put the question mark so that it can be blank first. So again, that was on the top of page 204. Make sure you put it in the right programming page. You got that? Next step is to add the web view to the view controller. Select the storyboard file in the project navigator and drag and drop a web view from the object library into attraction detail. Again, I think they got rid of the web view, but let's try it anyways. I'm going to have to try and figure out how to do it without this then. Here we go. So right here, we need to put a web view in here. So go down here and type in web. Oh, they still have, it says deprecated. See that? Web view. But they do have one called WebKit View.
Maybe that's the new one.
Yeah, that's probably the new one. So we could probably use that one.
We're using WK Web View.
Mm-hmm.
If you click on the
Mm-hmm.
deprecated one, it says.
If I click on that,
Can't order your key card. I forgot.
Yeah, I'll just go and open it for you.
Oh, it comes back to the WebKit.
Okay, so it looks like the new one is this one right here. WebKit View. I haven't used it. I did the old one.
Thank you guys. Thanks for the evaluations.
Okay, so this is a new one, huh? I don't know. I did the old one. When I did this originally, I did the old one. So let's try it. Prefer using WebKit View if possible. Okay, so let's drag this in. You gotta drag it, put it in the center, and then we'll give it some constraints, okay? So drag it in, again, in the WebKit View. And then let's give it some constraints so that the web page will be the full screen here. So let's see, drag it in. Resize the view so that it fills the entire scene area as illustrated. With the web view selected in the storyboard canvas, go to Auto Layout, Add Constraints menu, and add spacing to nearest neighbor constraints on all four sides. Okay, so here we go. We're going to stretch it out. Oh, no, that's not dragging. Where? What happened? No? I can't make it bigger? Oh, that did something. There we go. I don't know. I think my screen is not refreshing quite right. But I scaled it to the size of the view controller, right? And then to put the constraints, you need to go down to your little constraint one, the square with the new constraints, and then put 0. It should be 0, 0, 0. Go boom, 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 boom. Put them all 4 of them, and make sure this is not turned on. Make sure this is turned off. Boom, 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 boom. And then add 4 constraints. Everybody got that? Okay, scale it and then add 4 constraints. Display the assistant editor panel and verify that the editor is displaying the content of the attraction view detail Swift file. Display this. Yeah, that's what we have. We already have it up. It's right here. Yes? What's that? Did you scale it? Okay, then inside this one with this one right here, you make sure these are all 0 and go boom, 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 boom. Hit the little red line between them all. The little red line, and then hit add. Don't do it twice though. Only do it once. I know it's a problem with this program is that if you do things twice, it keeps doing things over and over again. Okay, let's just finish here. We got to display the assistant editor, which we have over here. We need to make an outlet, basically. We need to make an outlet, I believe, for, let me close this. Let me make this there. So they want you to have this one again, the attraction detail view controller, and this next to each other. So you should have these next to each. Remember, it's the Olympic thing right here. Right? So now we're going to control-click the web view and drag it to a position just below the class declaration in the assistant editor. So display this, and let's start again. Display the assistant editor panel and verify that the editor is displaying the content of the attraction view controller. I don't know what that means. Display the assistant editor. We have it here. Assistant editor. Right?
You just need to make sure it could be 4 different files.
Oh, okay. Displaying the auto layout. Oh no, verify, yes. Control click on the web view and drag to a position just below the class declaration line in the assistant editor. Release the line and the resulting connection dialog establishes an outlet. So again, we're going to drag from here where? Right below where? Control click and declare and release the resulting dialog just below the class declaration. Where's the class? This is the class declaration. So somewhere in here, right where the variable's at. So control click right, how about right there? Somewhere down here, right below. It says right below the class. This is the class. I would say right above the variable, or you think we should be below variable? What do you guys think?
I'm going by the book and going right below the class.
Right here? Okay, let's go for that. Okay, let's call it web view, right? Name it web, W-E-B, view, capital V-I-E-W. Didn't we name something else web view before? Yeah. Web view. When a detail view appears, the web view will need to load the web page referring to the web string variable. This can be achieved by adding code to the view did load method of the attraction view detail as follows. So let's hit OK here. I believe this is all we need to do here. Again, it was an outlet, right? It's not an action. It's an outlet. And we called it web view. And it's the web view kit. And we had, should not find any information for the class name website. What is this saying? Could not insert new outlet connection. Could not find any information for the class name website. Did you all get that message too?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It let me put the outlet in.
Maybe it needs to be below the string.
So you used a web view kit. Oh, and the book says web view.
You inserted below.
I'm going to put it below. And it worked. Okay, put it below the variable. Oh, it still gives me an error message though. Oh, this calls it website and this calls it web view. Is that maybe the problem there?
So should we use WebView type or WebView kit?
Where do you see type?
Because you have this WK.
Maybe you need to import that
WK
file.
WebView. Is that the type? Is
And import the web view kit? Import? Yeah, I'm thinking that too. Who said that? Yeah. I think I need to import the web view kit. So import up here, and we want web. Is it capital W, you think? Web?
Yeah.
WebKit. Module WebKit, lowercase. Oh, no, it was uppercase. Yeah, try that. I think you're right. Because it's new. This is an older version. Like I said, the handout is from the previous version of Swift.
Looks like it's working.
Yeah. Okay, try that. Try importing the WebKit up here. And then this looks like it might work there. We're making it up because you're going to run into this. Apple's going to keep changing it. They're going to keep doing it. There's nothing you can do about it. Like I said, the older way I used to do it, they deprecated the other way that I used to do it. Yeah, so try that. Import WebKit at the top, and then I used WebView. And I put it below the string, and I don't know. We'll try it. Did you get that? Okay, we're almost done. I can feel it. Almost done. When the detail view appears, the web view will need to load the web page referring to the website string variable. This is achieved by adding code to the viewDidLoad method of the attraction view detail controller Swift file as follows. So down here where we got the function did load down here, let me put a space there so we can see it right here. So down there in the super view, down here, we need to add the code there to make the web address a website, and then to add the URL from the. Remember the name of the array has web addresses in it, right? The name of the address. So down here, right below view did load, we're gonna do if let address equals website. Make sure you put a capital S in site. It needs to be the same name as this right here. And then put your curly bracket, and then let web URL equal URL, and that's a string. And then address. Is there 2 R's in address? Or 1 R? 1 R. Let web URL string address. 2 D's? There's 2 D's in address. Address. And then let URL request equal URL request. URL web URL, and then put your exclamation point there. And then we need to load the page. I don't know, it's giving me an error message already. Web view dot load request URL request. And
Jeff, change your, in the error, that string is a label, not a variable. It's a lowercase.
oh yeah, thank you. So that's lowercase. And what about URL? Use of unsolved identifier URL request. I spelled it wrong.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. So that looked like it worked.
I get the same error now.
Oh, now we got an error here.
Has been renamed to, mine didn't recognize WebView.
WebView should recognize from the name of the segue. Wasn't the segue WebView? This thing when we named it here? I think it was this. The name that we put here should be this, I think. So whatever you named it here should be the same here, Susan. I think that's why it's recognizing it, I think. Okay, let's see. Load request has been renamed to load. I guess we don't need request in there. Replace load request with load. I don't know, let's try it. Fix. Hey, it worked. Again, if this is not working, maybe it's the name we put here, I think, wasn't it? The segue. Did you get it to work, Susan?
I just have to figure out where
I think that this WebView is this, I think, maybe.
yeah, but which file did we drag that into?
I believe we did it in the in here. Or no, in somewhere here. How did we name this? We did name. Oh no, we did check.
As an outlet.
Show.
We
Yeah.
dragged it as an outlet to something.
Show.
It's just, it's a show type and the identifier is show attraction detail. That's how we
Okay, so I don't know where does the web view come from? I know we typed that in somewhere.
it is outlet. But from where to where?
I
It is
mistyped
from,
it.
it is from that, this,
Oh, here it is, the web view right here. This right there.
What
It's
file are you in?
I'm on the same one, the same attraction detail view controller Swift. Do you see it right there? It's the name of the variable. That's it. It's the name of the variable. So this and this should be the same name. This and this. This was made by dragging from here to here with the control key.
I must have put it in the wrong place. Yeah, that's why I think I must have put it in the wrong file. So many files, it gets confusing.
Yeah, there's 3 different Swift files.
I don't see it anywhere.
Maybe it didn't stick.
So I go confused.
That was the thing where press enter wasn't working.
But I see it.
It should say attraction detail view controller up here at the top. Right there. Okay, let's finish
Yeah,
it.
go ahead.
I'll come and help you. We got just a little bit more to go here. So again, the last step would be to add the information to the segue, right? So when you're going from the menu to this page, it should load the web page in there. Okay, so last step in this implementation of this project is to add code so that the data model contains within the attraction detail view controller class is updated with the URL of the selected attraction when the table view row is touched by the user. As previously outlined in the using storyboard in Xcode 8 and prepare for segue method, an originating scene is called prior to the segue being performed. This is the ideal place to add code to pass data between source and destination scenes. We kind of did this in 3.6, right? Remember 3.6? We did the same thing. So we're going to prepare for segue method needed to be added to the attraction table view controller Swift as outlined in the following code fragment. So again, change this code right here. Again, we're not going to use this one. We're going to use a different one. So again, we can come up here where it says automatic. Let's go to manual, table view story, and we're going to go to the one that says the table view controller Swift. This one. Table view control. What table view? What? Which one? Attraction table view controller. attraction table view controller. Oh, I put table in there twice. Look at that. Whoosh. Boy, I'm pretty good at spelling, aren't I? If you're using mine, you might need to, yours might be spelled right. It looks like I put table in there twice. If you're using mine, it looks like I spelled it wrong. I don't think it's going to give you a problem. But do you see where it says method needs to be added to the attraction table view controller Swift? So I think I named it twice. Okay, so remember here we are. Yeah, I put table in there twice. Yours probably doesn't say that because you probably did it correctly. Okay, so come down here. So we need to we need to override function prepare. Override function prepare. For segue story. Override function table view. Oh, here's navigation down here. Override function prepare segue down here. So again, the very bottom of that one. Did you guys find it?
Yes.
Okay. So the very bottom, we need to un whatever. Get rid of this part. We need to get rid of that double there, and get rid of this asterisk here, and get rid of this asterisk there, and then you can get rid of this as well. Down there. So very bottom of this programming right here, we need to get rid of all that stuff and add our detail. Do you see that? Okay, very bottom here. So again, down here at the bottom, we're going to add our detail to go. So if the segue identifier show attraction details, let details controller segue destination as attraction view controller. Let my index path self table view index path for selected row. Let pass. So basically, it's taking the array of the URL and putting it into the web address, and then it loads it into the page. So again, if segue dot identifier is equal to, remember 2 equals, show attractions, whoosh, capital S, attractions details, oh, we need to put curly bracket. What do we want to do? We want to let the detail view controller equal to the segue destination as. This worked in the last one, didn't it? With the as in the last one, right? Hopefully it works again. Attraction detail. And then we have another let my index path is going to be the table view self dot table view dot index path for selected row let row equal my index path dot row. I'm already getting an error message. And let's put in detail view controller dot web site is equal to web address and then row. Okay, so it doesn't like some values. Hold on, we'll fix those. Value type UI table. Why did it give me a UI table? UI table view has no member index path for selected row. What's that?
Capital F14.
Thank you. I fixed that. And what is this one? Use of unresolved web addresses. Did you mean web addresses? What's the difference?
One has 2 Ds.
Oh, I spelled two. I spelled that wrong too. Whoosh. Oh, well, give me back my HTML and CSS where I can fake it a little bit, right? Okay, so again, I did get this to work one time where I had to change the permissions. So we're gonna test it. If it doesn't work, I'm gonna have to look up how to. I had to look it up. There's an option that you need to change, maybe. So let me save. Let me preview. Any one of them should go. I put the same web address in all of them. So if you look at the code up here, they all go to. They're all going to the national park. They're all going to Wikipedia. They're all going to Wikipedia. They're all going to Wikipedia. And the last one goes to the. They all go to Wikipedia, but the last one goes to the national park. We're just gonna try it. Let's try it. If not, we're gonna have to change permissions. And I did that in the. I think I remember where I did that. Let's try. So, yeah. Oh, it did work. Yay. And it goes back. And this should go to the national park one. There it is. Look. It automatically goes to Joshua Tree. Okay, so whoosh. I know it was a lot of work. But hopefully the concept. Most apps are made with this table view. That's sort of what Apple's trying to tell you, right? So if we learn to master this, I mean, it's a good way. There's a lot of little detail in there, but learning to master the table view and how the segue goes and passes data and stuff. We've already done that twice, right? We did that twice in the segue in the 3.6 and now here. So, and most of us got that to work, right? The color going from color screen to color screen to color screen, right?
So the web address has to be HTTPS.
I don't know. Try one without the S.
Yeah, I tried one. I was trying to display a map, and which is not.
It didn't work.
It did not work.
Yeah, I swear it has to be S for secure for some reason. And I found that the limitation. Yes, I don't know. And in fact, you know, if you think about it, Google wants all websites to be S now too, right? They'll rank you higher if you don't. So I'm going to stop this.